Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here, coming at you with a Power Rangers Cosmic Fury related video. Sort of a news video, just talking about some recent tweets from Simon Bennet where he discussed some of the things they were doing going into Cosmic Fury, as well as news that we are going to be getting a new Lord Zedd voice actor for the season. So, if you didn't know, there's been, of course, Ranger drama over the last week, lots of discourse over Cosmic Fury as reviews were in. Cosmic Fury is awful, even though we haven't seen a single frame. And it caused a lot of, especially Twitter discourse, which I guess that's why they put the kibosh on Twitter. You can only view 600 tweets. It was all the Power Rangers fandom, or whatever it was, 6,000 tweets? I don't know. All kinds of stuff's happening on Twitter, guys. Just don't go there. It's a terrible place. Anyway. Point is, there's been lots of drama, so in sort of response to it, I mean, there's been lots of back and forth and needless like interaction between the whiny fans and then getting the cast and staff involved. But in response to sort of trying to bring some positivity, Simon wanted to share some things that were positive that they did into the season. Now, I'm going to talk about what they were. He put some tweets out. I put my phone here so that I could, you couldn't see it, but I had a phone there. No, I don't. It's fake. I pretended I have a phone. I don't have a phone. What am I talking about? I have my phone here to read them off, but as I'm trying to access his profile to get to him, I can't access it. I don't know if it's because of a Twitter glitch or because he has deleted it again or something, but I can see one of them, and I screen grabbed it, so I should have one screen grab. I'm going to go off memory for the first one, and I'll try to post the second one, and if it's fixed, there'll be pictures, and why am I rambling about this? You're here for the news. Let's talk about the news. So he said some stuff we've already heard before. There's going to be no filler in it. It's going to be much more focused on character stories and the overall story having a through line. That might be in the second tweet, but he said no filler, no forced moral of the week, no forced moral of the week episode. I'll tell you that right here. There'll be no morals in this show. So, no moral episodes, and what? I can't get the accent on. No comedic episodes either. I gotta do the whole episode like this. I keep sliding into it. No. But no comedic, like, forced episodes either, or sections or whatever. And practical explosions, which I didn't know was a controversial issue. Maybe he just means more like Kalish explosions, or Kalish always got blamed for that, but it was basically Koichi, right? Honestly, I never minded it. I prefer that era in regards to Power Rangers action. It felt the most powerful. Over the top at times? Sure. Fun as hell? Yes. Let me read the one I actually have here so I can jog my memory a little bit and I can put it up there. Yeah, character story and threads throughout. Personalized, unique weapons. Like, I didn't know that was a complaint. I mean, I guess people are still whining that they didn't put the power cannon together and once and always. Like, who cares? But, I mean, that's not their fault. Resoldier didn't have that. I guess they could have made their own. But you know what I mean. Like, that's more of a Resoldier complaint if you're just basically going on Sentai stuff. As mentioned, the new voice actor for Lord Zedd, which we'll get to in a second. More music from Bert Celine, is that how you say his name? I'm really grateful for that. I love the score in Dino Fury, one of my favorite scores in years. And a new theme song. We got like a little bit of a taste of it, I think, in the Morpher, and it sounded similar, but maybe this one won't have Go-Go in it. But I think I got the primary takeaways if I'm not able to screen grab the first tweet. And I do think he answered another question to somebody that it was, and I don't want people to fly off the handle about this one, but he said something that like originally they envisioned it as 20 episodes, but then they found out they were getting 10. And so I think people are going to be like, going to use that and be like, oh, the show was so rushed, it was supposed to be 20. And I mean, it's like yes and no. I think the idea is that they originally, like when they were doing the framework or just the theorizing and thoughts that it was going to be 20 episodes, but like they knew, that he specifically even said that there was 10 episodes in advance, like way in advance before they started like the pre-production. So even though they originally had 20 in their head, when they were actually truly starting, they were aiming for 10. So I mean, it might feel a little rushed to some people, but I wouldn't worry about that. But I think there's a lot of positive here, which I'll talk about at the end. But there is one negative, which is the new Zedd voice actor. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, which is really bad because I'm making this video about it. But apparently he decided to quit after Cosmic Fury or Dino Fury Season 2, Dino Fury, because of the harassment apparently he got. I wasn't aware he got harassment about it because of his Lord Zedd voice, which I think is really unfortunate. You know, I was very mixed on his voice. I voiced my criticism in my videos, but I would never be like, well, time to go harass this guy now. It's like, why do people do that? Like, it's just not right. It's not a good thing to do, and it's like you're clearly avoiding all the messages Power Rangers has tried to teach you. But also, it's just not that important, guys. Like, again, who cares? But that's really unfortunate that that's the reason he's not picking up the role. Again, I had mixed thoughts on his voice in that, you know, I think that in a lot of ways just more stemmed from my very mixed thoughts on the way they handled all of the redubbing of legacy characters in, like, the found footage or whatever. Not because it's like, they're ruining legacy, blah, 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 like stupid nerd stuff. It was more like just, I just felt it could have been a better job, but that was more about production. I think my thoughts on Zedd's voice just kind of extended into that because it kind of took you out of it. But that being said, it still was off to me, but I have to say, I mean, two things. Number one, I was kind of headcaning him sounding different because it's kind of just a different Zedd where only part of him is resurrected, which is the evil part. But also, in his last couple episodes he was in, I remember even saying I thought he sounded better. Like, it didn't sound exactly like Finster, Wizardmon, I can't remember the dude's name right now, I'm sorry, but it didn't sound exactly like that, because that's a pretty iconic, hard voice to get. I'm sure there's, like, talented replicants out there. Like, literal, I'm not talking about people that can replicate voices, I'm talking about replicants that can replicate voices. But I'm sure there's talented people out there that can do it, but long-winded thing I was gonna say, in the last couple episodes he was in, I thought he did an even better job. Not that he was ever doing a bad job, but I think he emulated a version of his voice that sounded like it was in lane with original Lord Zedd's voice to a degree. Not to mention the performance of the voice and the suit and the character actually felt more in line with Season 2 Zedd, so I have to give him credit for that. So I think that's a shame, but we're getting a new voice actor for Season 3, aka Cosmic Fury, and I'll be curious to see what it sounds like. You know, I can't promise I won't review it or criticize it, but certainly don't go harass anybody if you don't like that voice either. Anyway, I think there's a lot of good stuff in regards to the thought going into Cosmic Fury. I know people are worried about the rushed aspect and stuff, which I get, but I think this is going to be a very different season. I'm sure to a degree it might feel rushed. I'm not worried about it though, just because, like, has anyone ever watched any other shows? Like, you don't need 50 episodes for every show. I would like for there to be more too, to a degree, just to have more, especially if it's the last season in this. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to be really nice to have a build on each other's storyline as well as for character stories. And I want to give credit though to Dino Fury, which did have a lot of Neo Saban holdovers. I think they had some of the best in the last decade or so attempts to have more of a serialized through line. It wasn't always perfect, but you had like that, even that story with the drill or whatever in Season 2 that built up to them breaking into the base. So I don't think it sounds as serialized as this, but they did have the framework for it. So I'm excited about that idea, and no filler is great. The thing is, it's not about filler. I mean, filler is a tricky topic. Everyone's gonna have different tastes on it. Someone once asked me like what I think makes a good filler because I criticize filler a lot. Not toku filler. That's what makes a good filler. No, I don't like toku filler as much as other filler. Like, I love a good supernatural filler episode. But this isn't about me. The point is it's for me, the overall complaints about filler in this last decade was not about filler existing, because it's fine to have it, especially in shows like this, like PR Sentai Rider, where you have so many episodes. It can be great to have episodes that are dedicated to expanding the world of the characters or just living in that world. But it was more about the fact that filler was the priority. But with 10 episodes, you're not going to want to have filler. Point is, I think that all sounds good, especially for a 10-episode season. Also, the lack of moral episodes, I think that's a good thing. And I do want to say, for my thoughts on it, it's not about them existing, the moral episodes or the moral lessons. It's just about how you include them. Make it natural. If you can have an episode where you can teach something and it feels like a natural part of the story you're telling, go for it. But it felt like over the last decade, for the most part, not all the time, but for the most part, it felt like filler was the priority and everything else was written around it. That was the problem. There's not a problem with teaching lessons. I would say 3 things about that. Again, make it organic. Make the lessons updated, because I think some of them are outdated. I honestly can't think of a single anti-bullying episode that wouldn't get you bullied way harder if you practice this device. And then number 3, you also don't necessarily have to have dedicated lesson episodes. You can just teach an overall lesson. There are numerous shows that might have a message about a storyline going on that for adults. So I don't want to discourage teaching valuable lessons or advice in Power Rangers. Just don't make it feel forced. I feel you're more receptive to ideas when you're not feeling like you're being lectured. So, but I think that it's good to not have that in this like final season 10-episode bit. Same thing with the forced comedic characters, although we do know Jane and Jayborg are going to be in this season in some capacity, so that makes me curious of how they'll be included. Will it be more organic, or are they simply just going to be in a couple scenes? Like, I could totally see them just being in the premiere before they leave, maybe show up in the finale kind of as a bookend thing, but I am curious about that to be sure. I'm excited, like I said, about more of the same music. I really like the soundtrack in that. I think it'll be interesting to see the new theme. I think that was all the beats I wanted to cover, though. I just wanted to share that, as I think it's a bit of positivity, that there was some positive thought and changes put into Cosmic Fury. Again, I'm expecting it to be in the same ballpark as Dino Fury in regards to tone and feel, but I think it will also include a lot of the positive changes for Dino Fury, and I think there's a lot to look forward to before we take this break here. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.